From the antics of Gaza to the archetypal hard man, Tommy Smith of Liverpool, surprisingly capped only once by England.
Tommy Smith, I would put him in the class of the minute he got off the coach and walked in the changing room, I think people would go for cover. I mean, he was one of these sort of the big ugly man, the big ferocious-looking bloke that, if someone said to you that he breathed fire, you'd believe him. He had legs like tree trunks sort of thing, massive legs. He had big, thick-set body, and, if you had him on your side, I'm sure he could inspire anybody, and he did, I've seen him at Liverpool in the Players' Lounge. Even now, he still looks a beast of a man. But, it'd have been nice to have a battle against him.
Tommy Smith was a youngster, fresh into the team, when Liverpool's reign of success was gathering pace under Bill Shankly in 1965. The first signs of his promise in the Cup final against Leeds.
Smith, what a fine young player he is. This is his first season at the big time. Colin, Story, and see you've got to be double quick off the mark. Story beaten by Smith, still in play now. Hannison. Well, very little has gone past Tom Smith this afternoon. And Story easily beaten by Smith. Smith been an outstanding player, I would say, in today's match. Brenner beaten by Smith.
So, a telling part in Liverpool's success that day, just the start for a firm Anfield favourite.
Great character, Tommy. Marvellous boy. His bark far worse than his bite. But the Anfield Iron was his nickname from the Kop, and he was hard, Tommy. But fair. I always thought fair. Problem was he would always talk to referees and linesmen, and got more trouble with his tongue really than with his tackling. But he was also a very talented player, Tommy. You could win the ball, great winner of the ball, obviously.
Smith was in hard against Kennedy. Beaten by Smith, who's so powerful in those tackles. Smith has judged it. This wind is a little bit awkward. He played his way out of trouble with all the experience that he possesses after 12 senior years with Liverpool. Looking at that famous profile, I'm reminded of a player's words and opponent's words when he said, Tommy Smith doesn't look as if he was born, he looks as if he was quarried. He's certainly a hard man. Beautiful ball to Smith. He didn't have to move to get it. Ball to Smith. Highway, Liverpool showing them party pieces. He wasn't offside. Smith, yes, king and second, and Newcastle were undressed. They were absolutely stripped naked.
And Tommy Smith again. He's had two tremendous matches. Look at the ball to Fairclough.
Smith read it so well. Ball for Toshak, who let it go. Fairclough. But it all started from Tommy Smith's reading of Bryan Flynn's intentions. Built up the move on the right, and then John Toshak had the nous to let it go. And there was David Fairclough for his second goal of the match.
Dobson.
So, our first indication that Tommy Smith wasn't all deft touches and probing passes. Clive, the book Thomas, did have cause to enter Smith's name in his autograph book on the odd occasion. This particular instance, it seems more than justified, despite the protests. And once again, you don't make 467 appearances for Liverpool without being able to take a few out when the situation demands.
Tommy Smith's tackle, the quite rightly against the booking.
Yes, I don't think there was any doubt that the ball had gone, well before Alan Clark was clobbered around the ankles. And similarly, when Colin Bell took a tumble at Main Road in the next clip, it's pretty clear that Tommy was as good as any at arriving slightly late. And if there was any pushing and shoving to be done, Tommy was happy to be in the thick of it. And he did a mean routine with the finger pointing as well. By the way, have you spotted the referee? Yep, it's old Clive the Book again. A coincidence though, surely. Amazing how those Merseyside derbies bring out the worst in people's characters, although I suspect a spot of retribution was being dished out here.
Smith was powering his way out of defence. It was a good piece of play from him, and Buckley just brought him crashing down. Not often this mountain of a man is down like that.
Better away by Bonds. Smith. Oh!
And who will forget his goal in Rome now? I was delighted that Tommy Smith scored in that cup final, because nobody deserves it any more than Tommy to score a goal in the European Cup final. And a marvellous header it was.
Oh yes! And what a delighted scorer! It's Tommy Smith! Look at it again! Oh, what an end to a career!
Sure was. 5 league championship medals for Tommy Smith, but strangely, just that solitary England cap.
When you do